You are entering the world of Master Shaman PaLiChee with PaLiChee Healing. We discuss here the universe, enlightened shamanism, and our world, informing the misinformed. Warmest blessings. This is Master Shaman PaLiChee today, and we are going to be talking about end time visions as a rising shaman, or perhaps if you are not a rising shaman and you have just had end times type of visions or dreams, share that in the chat or the chat sidebar on the right there. So today, just a quick note that we are trying to grow our channel. And if you can help click on the like, subscribe, and notification button for me, it is totally free to do so, and that would help our analytics a ton. Have you ever had an end time vision or an end time type of dream? If you have, share that in the chat side. A end time vision or end time dream is something that when you wake up from this dream, it makes you feel as though the world around you is not how you lived it or how you have lived through, and that there has been some kind of a change, or there's going to be some kind of a change, and it feels an urgency to it. There's an urgent type of feeling in yourself when you wake up from this type of dream, or if you've had this vision, it feels so realistic, okay? It's almost very surreal, right? So, warmest blessings. I am Master Shaman PaLiChee. I'm known for establishing PaLiChee Healing, which is the first Hmong Shamanic Enlightenment Center since 2011. Being one of the first true self-rising shamans of my time, or at least a Hmong self-rising shaman of my time, with spirit at my side and teaching me throughout the whole journey. I'm also known for my on-point shamanic soul readings, transformations, and manifestations that come to life. I have also helped up-level and given guidance to many individuals who has crossed my path in becoming their own unique practitioners, and you may have also come across them as well in the last almost 20 years here. My spiritual journey began as a young child through spiritual encounters, unexplainable shamanic illnesses, and near-death experiences. I have helped transform or helped thousands of people become enlightened through my shamanic and transformational healing on a global scale, and I'm here to inform the misinformed through my shamanic perspective. All links that you need from me are in the description below. Now, write down for me, where are you guys coming from? Where are you guys watching from? And we are in Minnesota, but I want to know where you guys are watching from. Type down in the comments or at the chat bar. Today, some of the things that we have talked about in the past had been about dreams and things like that. But today, and this is various types of dreams, but today we are focusing on end time types of visions or dreams. And the question is Spirit predicting an event for you or communicating something that is very symbolic and preparing you as an individual, or maybe even your family, for personal or collective type of information transformation that you are going through? Is this something that is more personal to you in your life, or is this something that is more worldly as well? And we'll talk about that in a bit, but I want to focus on being this end time vision coming to you and how it's coming to you. So if you've never talked to spirit, if you've never channeled through to spirit, and maybe you're not even a rising shaman, but you've had some kind of end time vision or end time dream. This is a very important topic right now because it's something that is sparking a change cosmically, and then also the change, whether it's in our economy, in the world that we live in right now, the times that we are in right now. For those of you that don't know, you may want to maybe find some resources out there. But the reason why we're talking about end time visions is that it's a very important aspect of your psyche, of your mindset, and how that mindset is trying to open up to you so that you can have some kind of a glimpse or a pre-warning to what is going to be happening in the near future. How many of you, with either a raise of hand or a yes on the side chat bar, has recently had some kind of end time? So this is about like the end of the world type of dream or vision. How many of you have had that so far, or at least recently? Because recently there has been a couple of different dreams and visions that I've had. And one of the visions that I've had, I want to share that in a bit. But before I go and do that, do you as an individual believe that these end time visions and dreams or if you're meditating and all of a sudden you see a vision of the end of the world happening, something that gives you a feeling like the end of the world might happen? So end of the world doesn't mean like the whole world starts crumbling down, essentially, right? It could be something like a dream or a vision that is shown to you that water is flooding like a city, and it's a crazy flood, or there may have been a tsunami, right? Or there may become a tsunami, and then you're looking to see where is this at when you get up from that dream or when you come out of that vision. You're also going to get something in the visions, something similar to perhaps homes being flooded by water, or all of a sudden homes don't have a roof, to certain things like the river growing bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's really close to your home, and all of a sudden it floods your home and something breaks, to volcanic activity type of dreams, or to dreams that you are watching from an aerial viewpoint and you're seeing the world below, and then there are like, souls crying or people crying, or there's like voices, and there's all these what is it, disasters happening, right? Disasters happening in different areas of and parts of the world. But you're in this aerial view in this vision, right? Or it could be a dream. You're in an aerial view and you're looking down to earth and you see these fires happening, and they're just like little explosions. It can happen like this as well. So have you had one of those? Have you had one of those type of visions or a dream? And perhaps it's not a vision, but perhaps it's through a meditation that you meditated into this space or place, and then all of a sudden you get a vision within that meditation. You get an insight from the meditation, or perhaps even a channeling of just information about the end of the world type of events that's going to occur. Have you had these types of phenomena, right? I'll stop right here, and we're going to talk about here the book. Now, the book is about the laws, universal laws of mankind. It is a memoir and shamanic aspect. It is the raw, unedited version that I have written. And it has taken me quite some time to write and finish this book because of the emotions I was fighting against in regards to publishing this book. But finally, I got to publish this book last year, the end of the year last year. And this book has everything to do with my shamanic journey with my spirit team. I was not a shaman that was raised by another sifu or shaman. My gifts and abilities innately came to me and through a phenomenon. And then I had an NDE and different comas that I went through, which I'm not proud to say. But these are all in here in this book. It's the tying of laws of the universe that I finally got to understanding that affected my life in whatever way. And I write it in this book and I share my experiences in this book. It is a teaching memoir for you to maybe resonate with your own experiences, whether it's in the shamanic aspect for you or just life in general. So you can go and check out that book. I will have the QR code up here, and it's up there now in one of the corners that you see there. If you want to go check that out, please go do so, and you can experience some of the things that I went through as well by reading this book. So Layla Shang says, yes, I have similar dreams. Anybody else that's listening right now that has had these similar dreams, whether it's end time visions or through a meditation, or perhaps even an out-of-body experience where you go up and you actually see Earth and what is crumbling, what is disastrous. These are all precursors or like letting you know insights of what is going to be coming. And we're in the first part here, the question will be, could this be something that's predicting your personal transformation as you rise as a shaman? As you are rising in your spiritual journey, perhaps you're not going to become a shaman at all, right? But perhaps you may become somebody spiritual, and you may have a spiritual innate gift or a gift that you are going to discover. Could this be, this type of end time vision, be that you're getting insight into something in you, in yourself, in your transformation? And it's predicting an event for your transformation that you must know now so that you can prepare for it in whatever way that you can. I'll say that the question is also, why should an individual that's rising on their spiritual journey or shamanic path pay attention to end time visions or dreams? These visions and dreams, from my experience, has been something that has given me multiple over and over and over insights into my own life, and then also preparing myself spiritually for what is to come. And so what is to come, right? You see an end time vision of, and I've seen this before, so here's the story. They call it the lowdown, right? Here's the story of one of the visions that I've had back in, I want to say this was 2007. So in 2007, right before the 2008 market crash, and this was, I'd say end of 2007. So when in 2008 became the market crash where everybody's 401k went down, way down, and everything went down. So in 2007, I had a dream. This was a dream, and it was about a tsunami that came through. And the president at the time, I believe it was President Bush Jr., I believe, or one of the Bushes, and he was on a television set, and he announced to the world that this is the end of our world, right? This is going to be the end of our world, something like this, right? Prepare yourselves for the end of the world. And he was shown on like an old-fashioned TV set, like back in the 80s. And in this dream, I clearly saw him vividly on the TV set. And then the TV set went down, it clicked down, and there was nothing after that. After he said, this is the end of the world, and then the tsunami came, right? So then that was the dream, the main part of the dream. So when I got up, I also went and did meditation. At the time, I was already a shaman. So I went and did meditation, and what was shown to me is that a tsunami was coming to Japan, between Japan and the Pacific Ocean, somewhere in there. Okay. Something was happening in the Pacific Ocean with a tsunami heading out into Japan, heading to the direction of Japan. At the same time, there was also some kind, and I didn't know what it was at the time, okay? But there was like this antenna that was like radiating from the ocean, and I have no idea what this is at the time. I don't really read books. If you read my book and read my book, you know that I don't read books, unless I had and it was made to in college and in high school, or in school in general. But anyways, at that time, I did not know what this antenna was that was radiating in the middle of the ocean. But I did see the tsunami go to Japan, right? So I went and I did some work. I did some whatever I was prompted to do by my spiritual guides. And after doing that, there was a huge vision. Okay, so this is not a dream anymore, it's a vision. And in this vision came through these circle with a square, with a triangle body, and they had wings. So they were practically angels, but they were in geometric form. And they had a halo on top of their head that was glowing, and there was multiple ones of them coming down. Okay. So I don't know if I've written this in my book. I could have. I may have shared this story. But they come down, and they're literally like everywhere in the sky, flowing down into the area of the Pacific Ocean, and where the radiation was coming from in the dream that I had. They were coming down in this vision to that area specifically, and then to Japan, the coast of Japan. After this happened, I saw on the news literally the next day that there was a tsunami coming in. So it was like a warning that, oh, tsunami's coming into Japan. And then I was alerted and I was like, oh my gosh, I had like an end of the world type of dream, and then the end of the world type of vision, and then some work that I was prompted to do. And now the tsunami warning comes to the news, right? And all that happened. And then in 2008, when I had another dream right before the crash, there was a dream about a huge lake, and the lake was actually drying up. It dried up, and then I was walking around the lake, kind of like here in Minnesota, Lake Calhoun, right? It's kind of like this type of lake, but it's huge. If you guys know about Lake Calhoun, so it's huge. It's a huge lake. It takes about an hour to walk around. But this lake in my dream, it wasn't Lake Calhoun, but it was something like that. That's just an example. So in the dream, I'm walking around the lake, and there is a sidewalk that walks around the lake. And I'm walking, and then the lake just gets smaller, and the water goes down and down, and it's drying up. And I get up from that dream, and I'm thinking to myself, what is happening? There's something that has to do with abundance, and it's going away. And I figured that out, and then I went and did meditation, did some work, and sure enough, I think in September of 2008, the market crashed. And 401ks, people's 401ks and savings account went into the hole. Not completely, but mostly. So this is why an individual, like a rising shaman, or even if you're an individual that isn't on your shamanic journey, but you're trying to focus into your spiritual journey in any way, shape, or form, should always pay attention. And even if you're just a person that doesn't know anything and doesn't do anything with spiritual things, and you're listening to this right now, then you better pay attention to your end time or end of the world, quote unquote, visions and dreams, because they are telling. These are telling dreams that are warning you, pre-warning you about what is to come. And the thing is that the sad part is, I don't know about you guys, but the sad part I find is every time someone comes to me and they talk about a dream, because they want me to interpret their dreams, right? So when I talk about the dream and I tell them what is the dream, I also do a spiritual diagnosis for the dream and then give them the information, relay that information over. And I said, you have to do this and this and this, or you should do this and this and this to prepare yourself for this, right? And usually they come back and they say, oh, I didn't do that. Oh, I didn't do that. So the sad part is you may have a dream and it's giving you like the gist and say, hey, hurry up and go do this. Or it may not be so clear, but it's there, right? This end of the world feeling is there. And you know you've got to do something, whether you've got to do exercise and get your body ready for whatever is to happen, or you've got to do more meditations and prepare your mindset and your whatever abilities that you have to get ready for whatever is to come, whether economically, financially, worldly, or even relationship-wise in your own life. But the thing is that most don't do it. They just kind of let it to the side or let it ride, I guess. They want to call it that. Or they just kind of, push it to the side and then they'll just kind of wait and see. Because one, if you're a rising shaman, you may have gone through this a bit and then you don't know how you're going to interpret this dream, or you go straight to, some kind of a dream thing, which is fine, okay, which is a resource, a dream resource. You go and go there, but then you're still up in the air about what this dream really is meaning and why you even had the dream in the first place. So by paying attention to the dream, being conscious about it, and actually taking action to meditate upon your dream after you have your dream is also a critical thing, especially if the dream is telling and you've had some kind of emotions, whether you were sad, whether you were angry, whether you were feeling, confused in that dream. You've got to come back. And if you're going on your spiritual journey or a rising shaman and you're in that, you've got to come back, not be lazy, I'll say that, or not neglect what that dream was trying to tell you. Because then why? A week later, 2 weeks later, a month later, something comes up and then you're like, oh, wait. It's either deja vu or it's either like, oh, that's deja vu. I feel like I've seen that before. I feel like I've been there before. Or something happens or comes on to the news and you're like, hey, I knew that. I knew that was going to happen. But did you do anything about it? And sometimes some of you can't do anything about it because maybe you don't know how. But at least you're going to at least meditate on it. And I encourage you to if you don't. And if you haven't, then if you had a dream, you should go meditate. I've had this, went through a post. There was a post another time before, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, in another group. And someone asked that, could we potentially go back into our dreams and fix it if you didn't like the dream, how it turned out? Could you go back into this dream and fix it? Well, especially if you're having an end-time vision or dream, you can go back and fix it potentially, right? Now, the word fix may be, it may not be actually fixed, but you're going to go back and see what is going on. You're going to go back and see if there's anything that you as a person can do to help the situation. You can do that. And to change the outcome sort of thing. Now that is going into manifestation. So if you guys have not manifested your dreams yet, right? So what I mean is if you've had a dream and it's like a nightmare to you and you didn't like the outcome, you can go back and you can go and shift and shape it however you like, but into the good, right? Into a place where you can help this dream have a better and a good outcome. So when it comes to these end time type of dreams, that maybe, just maybe, it's symbolically telling you and preparing you as an individual to, well, it's telling you about your own personal life, then that's when you also want to pay attention to, because now is there something that's going to happen in your own life that is ending, right? Like an end time or end of the world in your world. This might be in your world, not the world that we know out here in the physical waking life, but this could be your world, like your life. And it has done this for people. It's a telling type of dream about an end of the world type of dream, right? But then it's actually affecting in your world. It might be crumbling somehow, some way, whether it's through relationship, health, wealth, career. So pay attention because of these reasons. Now, is the vision or dream about the end of the world or the end of an era? Could this be about an end of an era? Now, back, like an example, here's a story. Back in 2020, before COVID, okay? So before COVID, I had a huge vision and multiple dreams, and it was very alarming, okay? And in those dreams and visions, it had to do with food not being on the shelves. Like it was a dream about one of the dreams I'll share was about me going to like a grocery store, and I won't say the grocery store's name, but I went to the grocery store and I'm trying to buy bread, and there was no more bread on the shelf except for maybe like along the two, the row that I was in, there was like maybe one here and there. But I looked to the whole shelf, like the 4 levels of the shelf, and it was very distinct and vivid that there was no more grocery. There's no more bread because I was trying to find bread, right, in the dream. And when I walked in there was like, a couple items here and there, but the bread was gone. There's like 1 or 2, okay, so 1 or 2 loaves left. And then when I woke up from that dream, I was thinking to myself, what is going on? Spirit guide chimes in, and the spirit tells me, you better go and see if the stores are changing up what they're doing. And then at the same time, there's a deep feeling in me that says, I better go buy more of what I need, right? Whether it's bread, whether it's rice, whether it's a commodity of something, corn, I better go get some of these things and, as an inventory. So I go to the store the next day, and I'm just there to buy like 100-pound bag of rice. And there's a ton of rice left. If I'm looking at my dream versus what it was in reality at the time, it was total opposite, because there was a bunch of groceries. Groceries was still fine at the store. Everything was good. But then I had that dream, so I was taking action upon my dream. And also the visions that I meditated on and saw. So I said, you know what? Let me just purchase 4 bags of rice, 4 bags of 100-pound rice. So when I got these 4 bags in my trunk, go back home, and literally the next day was the announcement of COVID. And that's when COVID began, right? So the announcement came in the next day, and they're like, oh, better stock up, things are going to be gone. And literally that next day, at the end of that day, I go to that same store just to check, just to see what happened, because I wanted to confirm what my dream and what the visions were telling me was about, if it was true. I went there, and sure enough, all the rice, the 100-pound bags of rice, were literally gone. On that next day at the end of the day, before that store closed. It was like closing around 8 p.m. I went there before the 8 p.m. closed just to see, and it was literally gone. And some things, the commodities, were the first things that were gone. Like, canned corn or, toilet paper, to everything else that you guys already know to this day, right? Since COVID. So I wanted to share that story with you because that was an end of an era. An era meaning that life as we knew it, like it's not the end of the world, but the lake that I was walking in my dream was going down, right? And that was 2008. And then in 2020, we had the shelves being out of bread. So these two dreams are very similar as something was becoming scarce. Something was going low, like there was something that was not abundant anymore. So then the general idea is this. So then I already had that in 2028. There were some other things in between that I have not shared. And then there's 2020 that comes. And then we have the no bread on the shelves. So, or stores not having a ton of things in the dream. And then surely enough, it was like a straight dream. We talk about dreams before where it's an opposite dream, or is it a straight dream? You know, like a dream that when you dream of it, it is exactly that in the waking life. And then there's dreams that you dream about something and it's the total opposite in the waking life. So it could be tricky like that. We talked about those dreams before in a different show, but I'll say that when 2020 came, it was an end of an era. So the food, everything, operations of a store was totally different, and it wasn't anything like we known it before 2020. So before interpreting a vision, literally ask what may be ending. So something different can emerge, whether it's in your life or whether it's worldly. Okay. And you want to say to yourself or ask yourself, could current events be influencing what you're also seeing in your dream? Could certain current events right now, if you think about this and think about your dreams, just, by listening to me right now, go back and think about what you've been dreaming lately compared to what has been happening in our world lately with economics, with the financial markets, with political things that has been happening or being called out, with the floods and the people dying in different areas of our world. Now, sometimes you may have an end time dream, but it's only in your world, meaning your life, or the small community that you are in. It could be this. And there's other times when you will have dreams about the more major part of our world. So Earth in general, right? And something's changing there, and it's a telling dream, telling you to prepare. And these current events could actually be influencing what you are seeing in your dreams, that's arising in your dreams. I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to invite you to make your calls. If you guys want to make a call for a reading, for a dream interpretation, for a card pull, whatever it is you need, I'm willing to do as best I can or what I can for you guys today. If you also want a reading and you can't call, you can also write that in the comments or in the chat. Stopping right here, if you haven't already, go share, like, and hit that notification button, and to pay it forward. If you've been watching my channel and you've gotten some kind of tips, tricks, or gold nuggets, some way, shape, or form, please go out there and do me a favor. It's totally free. Go do that for me, okay? And for yourselves to pay it forward. I also want to share, for those of you that are interested, we have on-point readings, healings, and manifesting. And they are available on the website at www.palithehealing.com. And for those of you that want to know deeper and want to go further and begin your healing journey, because truly the healing journey is where everything starts. It's not, hey, Master PaLiChee, do I have Honeng? Do I have spirit guides? And I'm going to talk to my Hmong audience. It's a ga, it's a gay, go yon, ye to go li, ho neng ho yai. chỉ sai tao hay tiệt có yếu chủ tao bao hay tiệt có bộ môn nén là chủ môn nénแต่是yếuยิ่งใช้ตาขอhay tiệt có bộ cả mù khó có tụ khen là do có bộ bao ít khó để có tụ khen có yếu tông cả cho cái khó yếu có bao hay tiệt có tụ khen tông cả cho cái khó ấy có tụ sĩ khó có tụ khen là bí sa tao hay tiệt yếu có mua cái chỉ ta li na ấy có sĩ khó có tụ khen có lúc xia có cho chỉ hình có yên ba có tụ khen cơ li để sĩ có phèn chỉ rồi tôi là có phèn chỉ ya họ ya để chỉ ít rồi đến đó để thầu xem mà còn là hai nữ giả nữa để sĩ có chỉ cho chua rồi na ấy có chỉ cho chua nu na ấy lên từ chỉ tao hai giả ra chỉ用gì có chỉ na để sĩ có tới chỉ đâu lỡ tụ khen có bọn thành sự có tới chỉ lỡ hai ý lo lù sự là có tới chỉแต่ชีรอลูนนะเทียจะอย่าเลยตัวนั่งอ้วนนะจีเจ้าก็ขีนะเจก็ตัวป้าก็ตัวข้างนั้นชีก็ป้าจิตเอาขอนอยอีเจ้ากาอีเจ้าเก๋อย่าต้องกาคอเจถก็ต้องกาคอไอ้ยก็จีคอนะเจยมูเจอลีเจ้าเก๋ว่าก็กามูเจ้าเก๋ก็กามูนะยาละจียาเจ้าเก๋ว่ายิ่งยัวสุติโอโรกลุเชีย姑姑大茉莉中国路时候ก็有用落คอก็ตุกขึ้นขอนอยเขาเจ้งเขาจูกูเทลิเปียตรงนี้เด้อเที่ยวหูนะเจขอนอยกูเปียจอนเนอจะเกหแต่ต้องการเกคอนะยอเกคอตุกขึ้นอยู่ยงอยู่ตุกขึ้น落คอ到多州的FalityHealing.com มูโดลูเว็บไซต์เนาะกูอวยจ่อ on point readings healings and manifesting on point นะใช้ลิจ่ายจ่อชิบหรือมอง on ลุมกา on point นะใช้ต่อเตียจะจังจู่จ่อไปอย่าใช้ใหญ่เนาะอย่าขอไปหมู่โจเกียนเดอขอจังเที่ยขอจู่ขอว่าลิจ่ากงว่าย่อเกี่ยก็นอเกี่ยโจคนเดอจีย่อคนเดอเลยนั่นเนอะ你踩到你那了，要跟我踩你那到那是没有，个女用意的呢。你那被他做这件不上不说了，要等你bỏ还得弄点点点多呢那，后你一个件不说，了要等你几里nhỏ里头看呢，你几里bỏ thành后你路路那要，几个件那要一只件我被开到那呢，你那呢还得要到了费时做了。ba này tụi khen cho cá sự kiện bổ số nó được kia tao đó này thì chẳng pha nữa bây chẳng tổng đó này ó bây chẳng tổng đó này thì này ở chủ chẳng pha lời giá tận đây nó là do ý văn thi bỏ ó văn thi bỏ ý lý tận đây nó thì có mua nhà nó cơ thì nhà nó chỉ dùng có chủ sĩ ý thì chủ sĩ nó không có luôn nè ya nó ý ya đi con bổ số thì đây chỉ đến từ lo bỏ đây chỉ đến khoa bỏ là ya hạt thì chỉ đi chú mua khủng nó ya tao ta la bỏ có một số tao ta lại mua cần khó xử de是chỉ mua đâu đi lời na li của con bổ số của hạt thì cũng bổ số xong opening go cho 我就科技来叫的了的科技来叫 brand 呢呀cũng một số tao lúc ta la chỉ mua ít bao đồng đi mua ít baoแต่是 bloating the all sha khó ai ổn đó này ạ khó rô khó sha của mùn đó na chỉ chỉ mua không no đi lợ còn nó tiếp tục khai tôi đâu cú hay tiệt và tận đây nó đây rồi chỉ mua nó mua hậu là do tiệt nó hậu cái nó hậu yon tiệt nhua cơ li tiệt thầu cũng bao số nó ta cú họ mù sai cho tiệt sai ta tiệt cú họ bao tao hay tiệt chỉ có tóm ba tiệt cú thế đi mua tao trâu tao ít lúc ta la tiệt cú mù有一包一拿出一包泡呢呀，这估计的啥时候的哦，古顿包说的，这古顿包的那过到有包拿，这估计的字包被拿字一拿的这都包拿，但是带见的是 afternoon 的大就带见的是，某种 noon 的大the next day 那边，这大一 noon 那当天的这。头以都在以梦以等呢要来以梦中度呢也ตลอด这个也กูใช้不要领导也应要哩的也叫恐那几里寂寞叫出一波胖了 chỉ cho một cho chỉ choแต่是 chúa càng khó sư là để là mà order tua ya thằng đó nè cho khó nên chỉ đi mua vô hay hén rồi cho khó là chỉ đi chat tới thì mua cá mò thầu lúc xưa ở phần hình gỗ nữa chỉ thầu ở phần hình gỗ nữa ta chỉ cho không chỉ đi chỉ cho mua hình rồi này ya chỉ khó nói thế họ cú bia cho nên ở ít họ cổ hạt tiền yếu tố chân nên cho kiếm bầu sa bầu xóa là do đến đây chỉ đi nhỏ li cú nhỏ tại sao này cú chỉ đi bỏ kia thành ý giả ra chỉ ấy có muốn để tàu là có muốn giải tàu này nhở có chỉnh tàu khó có bỏ nữa nè 1 second 是呀1 second 是1 plan 起是这个都摸个到可能就那个都看了哎个bỏ到还得哦可能我就估计你bỏ đi nó này nó chỉ có pay attention นะ才到得个 phí sử cho nó ya这个 phí sử cho nó chỉ你都把到个还得哦呀你个有到我一呀啦去做ก็有到把啦去bỏ了有个到整发bỏ chỉ cho hai tới giờ lù ra chỉ bỏ, chỉ nên tụi ba tụi có bốc nó để xí xuân trong, lỡ chỉ bốc, lỡ chia chỉ trâu, thia lỡ chỉ bốc thì ô khả nó nên xài đi cha, lỡ chia chỉ trâu thì xài đi cha, lỡ chia chỉ trâu thì lỡ yếu tố ô đi cha, chỉ khả nó thì họ có yếu tố cỡ, mà cỡ, mà mu cỡ, cỡ đi cha, tin nên hạt thì yếu đi của cỡ đi cha, chỉ lỡ hạt tiệtคนนั้นคนใหญ่หาเดียคนนี้อยากเกิดนะอยากคนเราแค่เราเนี่ยจะจังนะเนี่ยมู meditate นะยาระจีเนี่ยมูชีอีลูจ้าลูยงรอรอนะเนี่ยตุขัน我对于个寂寞啦寂温外内寂寞啦寂有跑诶有我呢寂个呢噜噜鸟豆对于那样这呢鸟对于的呢呢鸟对于的呢诶个呢天里我人呢只要杀了但是呢好bỏ的呀谁呢不要bỏ到的呀你去许多了呢vì đi cha của thiên lý hà lý nó đâu bé trồng mong nêm lòng nu nó ya cú hai vì hạt tiền như ít khỏi ya chẳng chẳng hành cho bé tận đây nó cho giá tận đây nó cho cá bầu sủa nó một trâu cho có chỉ đi nhỏ ấy có bỏ xứ chỉ khó nó nếu như tôi họ ý ya lọt khe tàu này nhiệt chỉ bao công nhận chứ lọt khe là mua nếu như cho angels nó thì angels the guardian angel nó như cho sai sủa này ấy chỉ cho này bỏ được không mua này ya nếu lo cha này nhiệt này gì nếu như cho họ rong là sai sủa này tụ khen nếu khe là đồ này nên nhiệt này chỉ này bỏ này giờ nên nó lo hạt tiền mong lo hạt tiền order này ya, แต่是 chỉ order lo khi lúc chú chỉ đồ này, แต่是 này chỉ bao thia, chỉ mà nó chỉ này chỉ trâu, chỉ này chủ tàu cho một xí ít lúc xí hở cả này nhỏ tới tiền này nhỏ tú, này nhỏ cần chia to, tí này lúc không mua, anh này thì cho một đâu này hậu này tú khăn na, hậu này tú khăn, chỉ này thì là lòng này, anh có này lòng anh này thì nó ấy thầu này nó chỉ này thì là bỏ này thì là do tiền này chỉ bỏ là này nó chỉ nó là này bỏ là do họ chỉ họ lên tới là do này bỏ mình gì nè giờ họ nói họ cũng khoác hè rồi này nó cho này ít chồng mong thia nè nó cho mình tụi mình nhỏ hồng địa tên dân tu nó nhỏ còn này chơi còn này chơi cho sa chụp lì thia vì họ tiệt cho kế nó cho kế thia cho cá và yo muôn tàu hành giá tận đây nó cho bé cho tin hình như là hôn địa đây nó trở nên nhẹ thế chỉ nhẹ là si bẩn để si cú cho khéo rồi này thế khó rồi này tiệt cho kế nó ya ít cho kế tận đây nó giờ bé chỉ nhẹ thế nhẹ là yên là chữ sĩ sư cho bé tụi khinh là bé yên là tàu sĩ sáng chu pli mù ba bé tụi khinh sĩ sa sổ ya chân nó là ba bé tụi khinh ôi ya nó là ô ý cá là ô ý kề thì liệu chính tàu bây giờ cá cho cái ô này nhá hồn địa tên trên tù nó gì là giá tận đây nó vì hai tiền luôn địa tên nó luôn điện tù nó nếu bầu mù rủ thì bầu dấu rủ nữa chỗ ốp hành ngồi xa nữa chỉ này à chim lồng sai thì sọc á xem lồng sủa sai bồi giờ là khó của hai nữa so getting back to it I'm going to do the reading just in a bit here. Okay. So let's see here. We are talking about also discernment. So and I just said that in Hmong, right? Why discernment matters more than the vision itself. So you may have had a vision. The vision is very important and it prompts you to pay attention. But secondary to that, okay, you may need to really discern. Because if you don't discern, then you are not going to be able to know what to do, how to prepare, and what to prepare for. How to be for mentally, emotionally. How will you manage your emotions when something occurs? Now, this doesn't mean that the world is all going to corrupt in one day. Now, or not corrupt, that's already happened. But I mean, is going to be in disaster all in one day, all in one area. It literally means there is going to be, maybe in your neck of the woods, like they call it, in your state or in your local community, there may be like a power outage for days, right? We've seen that currently in Indiana, more currently in Indiana and then some other places like Long Beach. There was power outages in those areas specifically. Maybe it didn't affect the people in Minnesota or in, North Carolina or Tennessee and things like that. But this power outage did affect some other areas in some other states. But maybe you are having a dream about it. Perhaps you have a loved one there, or perhaps it's just preparing you to be not so frightened or how I say 땡나, so that you don't be so stunned when that news comes on, and that your spirit of the soul fragments, your fragments, right, is not going to be stunned so badly to the point where you are frightened to your knees, and that now you're going to gather everything up and just make sure in case power goes out in your home. So you have these dreams, these visions, these meditations that you would do to go take a look and to observe if it's going to happen to you, or if you've had the dreams and the visions, they're warning you that this is happening in some part of the world, maybe not truly yours as well. And that's going to help you to prepare your mindset, to prepare your emotions for what is to come, like what can come, what could happen. Okay? So, discernment. Discerning if your dream is about you trying to prepare for something. Like, how did I discern that I had to go buy 4 bags of 100-pound rice before COVID was announced? How did I discern that, right? I had to believe in my dream. I had to pay attention and be conscious to the dream and take it seriously, right? Especially if it was very vivid. And then I had to also go in and do a meditation. I'm technically telling you how to go about it right now. I hope that you guys are all catching this. And then when you meditate and you see observations, you see what you've observed, then you have to take it seriously to go and do the actual physical action in the waking life. And go and do the purchase or do whatever you need to do, right? Collect the things that you need to prepare yourself for if in case something happens, because you've had a sort of phenomenon in that regard, and that your emotions are not going to be settled until you figure that out. How many of you have felt that emotion was up and running when you couldn't figure out something, right? And you felt like this intensity that you just know that something's going to happen, but you don't know, you can't put your fingers on it. That also means you need to do some healing so that you can raise your vibrations to a certain extent that you can now then be able to feel it and to discern as well. And that could happen either easily or maybe even a little bit difficult for some of you. depending on your mindset, depending on your spiritual thermostat. Okay. I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to answer some questions. So there's some questions here on the chat. Okay. So Leela says, does anything stand out for me? Okay, so có ya bei tu nya thia Leela. Okay. So does anything stand out for you? So you're wanting some kind of I'll do a card pull for you here. Let's do a card pull for Leela then. Asking if something stands out. So something that you need to know right now, seems like. Okay. Something that you need to know right now. So Leela, listen up. Leah Shang, this is for you. This card is for you. So we've got the Knight of Swords. Leah. Knight of Swords for you, okay? So Leah, this is something that you need to know right now. Right now is the time that you should be preparing yourself for, it feels like it's a relationship area, okay? Relationship with intermediate family, some kind of family members. Prepare yourself to speak what you need to speak on. Now, sometimes the truth might hurt, but you may have to speak to that truth some way, in some shape and form. And though there could be a disagreement, okay, I'm not saying that there will be, but I'm saying that there could be some kind of a disagreement, or something's not, there's no meeting of the minds, right? There's something that's not meeting the minds. It could be that you'll still need to speak a truth regardless, and you have to stand up for what you believe. So right now with this Knight of Swords, you are now in like a, not flight, but a fight mode, okay? Fight mode. And this fight mode goes into relationships having to do more so with your relationship area, but also connected to your spiritual journey as well, Leah. Okay. So if that makes some sense for you, Leah, let me know that I am on the right track. I think you already kind of said, okay, thank you. And okay, thanks. So yes, you're welcome. Next here we have Peng V5792 says, can you do a card reading for me? Yes, I can. For those of you that wants to call in person or in voice, please do so too. The phone number is also there. We also have the donation link back on, I believe it's been corrected. So the correct link is on the chat sidebar if you guys would like to donate and pay it forward. No pressure, of course. It's up to you if you feel that you can help out and support in any way, shape, or form on the channel. So Peng V5792, this is for you. And I only have a few minutes here, so I'm going to see if I can get through this. Okay, so whoever needs a card reading, let me know, or you can call in. So we got the Five of Swords. Actually, these swords are really coming out today. This is the second sword card. So Peng V5792, you got the Five of Sword. The Five of Sword here is almost saying here, okay, so there is a, you're on a 50-50, okay, right now in a certain situation that it's a sticky situation that you had been in or been involved, okay? And again, the feeling is going towards relationship, okay? And there's some things that have been right or righteous, and there's something that has not been the greatest and has not been the most right. Okay, so it's been maybe incorrect information or miscommunication in some way, shape, or form. There's something here that you need to go back and you need to go clear something up with this Five of Swords. Because it's a 50-50 where there's a right and then there's a wrong. There needs to be some kind of a clarification on this situation. And you should be able to go do this week and try to clarify something that was misunderstood. There's hurt feelings in this situation. So I do want to say that because there's hurt feelings, it may affect you in the future, Ping, maybe negatively. So you may have to be the one to stand in and clarify or to communicate something more transparent in that situation. Okay. And it has to do with, I'm getting the gist of relationship. Okay. Relationship for you. So that was for Ping. All right. Gova or Kovang 7619 says, can you interpret why I see a female shaman sending me to Thailand with a gun in my dream? Her wall was full of guns and swords. Yikes. That is a bit dangerous. Okay. So a female shaman sending you to Thailand with a gun. So this dream, I'll interpret this quickly for you. I don't know what what you've been going through, okay? Truly what you've been going through and everything like this. But here's my interpretation. If you've had a dream like this, Ko, I would say that you'll need to be very careful of who you're speaking to, of what kind of information you're relaying over, and who you know is it may be doing black magic, okay? A shaman that has benevolence they would still have some kind of swords, but I don't see that they would. Now, in particular, now some shamans might because they may have double things. But I'll say that with this particular dream, you better be careful. It's a warning sign of who you talk to, of who you trust. Okay, so it's all about your trust too. With a female shaman, okay, I feel like that's straight and not opposite. But the Thailand and the gun in the dream is something that is going to hurt you into a place where you could potentially be in danger, as in like physical danger. Now you have to also think, did you have some kind of disagreement with someone that is female? And they may not be the female shaman, but it could be a female. And as I'm seeing here, it could also be a male figure as well that you may have had some kind of a disagreement with. So you may want to go back and take a look and see if you've recently had some kind of issue with someone. Even though it may not be recent, I feel like it's something that could potentially also happen in the future here. So watch who you speak to, especially female, okay, female wise. And but it doesn't mean that the female is the one that's going to trigger this negative energy, okay? So literally going to Thailand is not a good thing. That means to me, as the spirits are telling me, that means basically you're going to be in danger, life is endangered. But I also don't want you to, take this in a way where you're now like grabbing everything and you're being overly protective. I want you to take this in a way where, okay, I should protect myself. Okay, I don't need to panic. There's nothing that's crazy, but I also need to be aware where I'm going, who I'm talking to. Okay, so protect yourself in that way, but you don't need to panic, is what I'm going to say. So let me know if that makes sense to you. Okay. Again, don't panic. You're going to be fine. But I also want you to be protective of yourself and who you speak to and what you do and things like that. If you want to go deeper into these type of things, into this dream in particular, and or a situation that you may know that you may be in, then you can take this offline with me, okay, in a separate session. That's up to you. Okay. And then we would do a spiritual diagnosis on that deeper, and whatever the need is, then we would have to go about that. CCC8593 says, can you talk about dreams where you meet people or ghosts who doesn't know they're dead? So yes, so CCC, if you've had a dream where you met a ghost or people that don't know they're dead, it means that either one, your antenna is open and someone's trying to contact you from the other side, but through your dreams. At the same time, it could also be that you, because this is very general here, that it could also mean that you are, your part of your spirit fragment is moving or has, how do I say this, has been traveled or prompted to travel to meeting these people, these kind of people. And they're in like a limbo. They're in like the middle where they're not fully, they're transitioned, okay, from waking life to transitioned, okay, as in like crossed over. But they are in a limbo where they are not truly where they need to be, and or they may be like, for example, someone that has been murdered and they can't get to the place where they need to go because they have lost the tracks, right? Or they don't have the ticket, so to speak, and now you're meeting them. So it could be this as well. So it could mean a couple things, but it seems like this is very general, so I'm going to say in a very general sense that it's basically you're meeting somebody that has crossed over, and they are trying to connect with you, perhaps needing some kind of help, some kind of because you're physical, so they believe that you're going to be able to help them some way, somehow, maybe finding the culprit to solving a problem or an issue that maybe it was unresolved, and things like that. So it could mean something like this in general. Okay. That's, that's what I have in my head right now to tell you, at least. So Miss L. Vang says, I'd like a card pull about marriage and the family karma that's preventing this specifically for me. Okay, so let's see here. Miss L. Vang. And those of you that has got a reading in some way, shape, or form from the channel or today, please go out there to like, subscribe. Be sure to subscribe and to continue watching some of the content that's on the channel to help the analytics of the channel to get to as many people as possible. That is our goal, and just being transparent about that, because I really truly want to bring out services such as today to a lot of people that I know that needs it, and they probably don't know that my services like this exist. So if you can help, pay it forward, and do that for me, that would be great. That's a quick favor I'd like to ask you. So Miss Elving, here is a card pull for you. Miss Elving, we've got the Hermit card. Okay, the Hermit. So about the marriage, family karma. Okay, so you're in the situation right now, Miss Elving, where you are frozen. Like you cannot be the one to say, you can't be the one to do, you are frozen, okay? You're in the middle or in this place where you can't really do anything. If you do something, then it might bring an upheaval of a bunch of sequence of what is it? There's going to be a sequence of disastrous conversations or disagreements that will come through. And then it's going to look as though you're the culprit. So right now, it's time for you to maybe not do anything and you are frozen already, but it's not time for you to do something right this moment in time, if you get what I'm saying. Wait till the right time comes. Right now, you are supposed to kind of just be there. You're listening, you're present, but you don't say much. If you are going to do something and want to do something, then it's going to be at a different time, not right now. Okay, you got to wait for something to go through first. Okay, so the family karma, that's something big, and that's something that someone has to bring healing to that. And if it's not brought healing to, then of course it's going to continue going. Okay, now marriage wise, and I was talking about more family as being that like the hermit, you're frozen in the where you are. You have to wait till something like evidence, like for example, evidence or proof or something has to occur first before you can make a say. So I hope you know what I mean by that. If it's not clear, but this is not the right time right now. It's going to come though. It's coming. And this family karma has to be dealt with. Otherwise, then whether you make a say or not, something is still going to be happening into the not good direction. And it may be really harsh. So I'll leave it at that. If you want to know further, then we can also go through that whole diagnosis. I would want, that's something that I would say that needs a diagnosis to kind of not solve the full problem unless you're going to do some kind of big healing for it. But there needs to be an understanding of the mind. And if it's your marriage or about marriage and family, then the two people, either the one person that's concerned needs to go seek out some help, or both persons has to agree to seek out help. And then it kind of they're willing to go both together, and then cuts out that karma from the family because they're both willing to work together. But if that marriage is not willing to work together, like the two people involved, then family karma continues, and family karma has to be healed regardless on that case. That's what I'm feeling anyway. Let's see here. Kobang says, I can see that now. I will do that. Yes, please do so, Ko. Blood Shang says, hey sister, can you please do a card reading for me too? Thank you. Thank you so, I think it's so much for your time. Blood Shang, this is for you. If you are not subscribed and have not liked, have not shared, please go do so now. I'll do this one for you, Blood Shang. Okay, if this is your first time with me on my channel, do me that quick favor. Also, for those of you that are wondering and you weren't here before, I want to share with you that we do on-point readings, healings, and manifesting on services, okay? We also do have, and I don't have the picture with me, but if you go to PaLiChee.com, you're going to see spiritual readings, or you're also going to see bookings with two of our independent shamanic practitioners. And they're out there and they're willing to do, and right now they're giving out free 15-minute consultations. Okay, so go out there and book those consultations with these two independent shamanic practitioners with PaLiChee healing. Okay, so go do that if you need one. Bloodshong, here we go, the card for you. And I'm sorry guys, this will be my last card. Next time you guys can come in earlier, ask the questions earlier so that you are on as well, and I can try to get to you as much as I can. Blood Shang, here we go. King of Cups. We've got the King of Cups, Blood Shang. What I'm getting for you and what you need to know right now, Blood Shang, is that you have the potential, okay? You have the potential and the capability to do something that you wanted to do, okay? And that you are in the position to getting that thing done and get the results done. This feels like it's a career area, okay? This is your career area, Blood Shang, and this is something that you've been kind of sitting on for a while, if you haven't done it yet, okay? But it feels like you can do it and you can do it very well, but you may need to have some kind of uplifting energy in order to get going further in that direction. The King of Cups shows me also that you are in a good position also in like financial ways or financial resources that you may have, and you can go ahead and do what you need to do on that career side. And I feel like that's more like a starting something up, like a startup of something business wise, that you can potentially get going on. Otherwise, if you are also in a job right now, it's almost like saying that you're going to get some kind of a promotion. Okay. So I'll leave it at that. Does that make sense? If that makes sense for all of you, Blood Shang, if that makes sense for you, please let me know. If all of the card readings that I did today of what I got to makes sense for all of you guys, please drop down a heart and star for me right now before I get off the call or I call because there's a lot of calls that I do, but before I get off the show. So on the Dear Master Shaman PaLiChee show, I thank everybody for coming in and chiming in as well. And I want to finish off today's talk with this. I want to tell you that if you continue to have end time visions, dreams, or when you meditate and then you just keep seeing like similar things or things over and over again in regards to the end of the world, these visions and dreams are trying to get your attention, and they're trying to get your attention very bad. Like meaning that they're saying, wake up, look at me, wake up. Are you going to talk to me? Are you going to answer your call? We're calling you, we're messaging you, just like a text message that goes ding, ding, ding on your phone. These visions and dreams of the end of the world is basically messaging you and saying, wake up to this vision, wake up to this dream. Especially if you had similar dreams within like a 3-day period consecutively, right? They're also giving you the message that you will need to take it seriously, right? Take it seriously and don't take it as it's another dream, right? But take it seriously. Use meditation like I've talked about, and I will talk about it over and again, that meditation is the key. Why? Because you get to observe your own dreams and visions, and you even get to go and fix your dreams and the results within the dream if you truly wanted to. So will you be able to feel the urgency for paying attention and taking these dreams more seriously, taking your phenomenons more seriously, because it's telling you something. And okay, so you don't have to do it, but once you do it, then you might feel better, right? But if you don't do it, then you get yourself back into a cycle that's going to again show you the same thing again, but maybe at a later time, and that time might be a bit late for what you truly wanted to happen. So I'm just going to give you guys that. Thank you for the hearts and stars. Go va. There you go. And then CCC, thank you. Wes Loic, thank you. Thank you. And Peng V5792, thank you for the hearts and stars. And those of you that have been on, if you've subscribed, if you've liked, if you've done anything, as in to click on the notification, to share this on your Facebook page, thank you so much for doing so. And I also thank you to the ones that have sent in donations during this Dear Master Shaman PaLiChee show live. Warmest blessings, and we'll talk to all of you next time. Bye-bye.